There are moments in life when no matter how hard you work, money just slips away. Almost as if something unseen is blocking your breakthrough. But what if I told you the barrier isn't outside? It's inside today. We're unlocking the hidden blockages that stop money, abundance, and success from flowing into your life. Using the ancient Ho'oponopono prayer, you will discover how to cleanse, heal, and finally align with the wealth that is already waiting for you. Stay with me, because this revelation could transform not only your finances, but your entire destiny. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs freedom today. Comment one word below. Abundance money is often misunderstood. Many think of it only as paper notes, bank balances, or material possessions. But in its truest sense, money is energy. It is a flow, a current, a form of exchange. When people say currency, they are unknowingly acknowledging that money is like an electrical current. It must move, circulate, and flow freely. Blockages in this flow are what create financial struggles, scarcity, and feelings of lack. Imagine a river. If it is flowing freely, everything connected to it, plants, animals, people, benefits from its life, giving water. But when debris builds up and blocks its path, the water stagnates. It becomes murky, lifeless, and toxic. Money works the same way. If fear, guilt, or limiting beliefs clog our inner river, the flow of abundance slows down. We may work harder but see little return. We may attract opportunities, but sabotage them with fear. Studies in behavioral economics show that people unconsciously make financial decisions based on emotion, not logic. A survey by the National Endowment for Financial Education revealed that nearly 70% of Americans have financial regrets. And most of those regrets come from fear-based decisions rather than informed planning. That fear is a form of blockage. It interrupts the natural flow of money. Spiritually, money is neutral. It carries no morality until it enters the hands of a person. For some, it becomes a tool of generosity, building hospitals, schools, and communities. For others, it becomes a tool of greed and destruction. The difference is not in the money itself, but in the energy of the heart handling it. When your heart is healed and open, money becomes a servant to purpose. When your heart is broken and blocked, money becomes a master that enslaves. I once met a businessman who made millions but felt constantly anxious. He feared losing it all. His wealth did not bring peace because deep within he carried an unresolved belief: I am not worthy of success. This internal blockage made his relationship with money toxic. Compare that to a woman I know who built a small bakery. She lived in gratitude, gave generously, and saw money as a tool to bless others. Even though she started with little, abundance followed her, because her energy around money was clean. This is why understanding money as energy is the first step. If you see it only as paper, you will chase it endlessly. If you understand it as energy, you will learn to align with it. Clearing money blockages means restoring your inner river so that wealth can flow to you and through you. We must stop asking only, how do I make more money? And start asking, how do I remove what is blocking money from flowing into my life? That shift changes everything, because the truth is, abundance already exists. Opportunities are already around you. Wealth is already circulating in the universe. The question is, are you open to receive it, or are your inner blockages holding it back? This is where spiritual tools like Ho'oponopono come in. They work not by pulling money out of thin air, but by clearing the debris from your inner river, so that the natural current of abundance can reach you again. Before you can clear a blockage, you must first recognize it. Most people do not realize that their financial struggles are often rooted in subconscious beliefs formed in childhood. These beliefs sit quietly beneath the surface, shaping every decision you make with money. Consider this. A child grows up hearing phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that." Or "Rich people are greedy." These repeated messages sink deep into the subconscious. As an adult, that same child may self-sabotage opportunities because deep down they believe wealth is wrong, dangerous, or unattainable. They may spend recklessly to get rid of money because having it makes them feel guilty, or they may hoard excessively because they fear it will run out. Both extremes are blockages. Scarcity mindset is one of the biggest blockages. It convinces you there is never enough money, opportunities, or resources. Yet research in psychology shows that scarcity thinking reduces cognitive capacity. In a study published in Science magazine, people under financial stress scored significantly lower on problem-solving tests than those who felt financially secure. Scarcity literally shrinks your ability to see solutions. Another blockage is fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, or even fear of success. Some people don't step into higher paying roles or business opportunities because they fear the responsibility it brings. Others fear judgment from family and friends. If I make more money, will people think I've changed? This fear becomes an invisible ceiling, keeping them stuck. Then there is guilt and shame. Maybe you made financial mistakes in the past. Debt, bankruptcy, failed businesses. Instead of learning from them, guilt chains you to those failures. Shame whispers, you don't deserve a fresh start. And as long as shame remains, money will feel heavy, not joyful. Let me share a story. A woman once told me she could never keep money. No matter how much she earned, it disappeared. Through reflection, she realized she had grown up watching her father gamble away the family's savings. She carried anger toward him and guilt for not being able to save her family. That unhealed wound became her blockage. The moment she acknowledged it, forgave her father, and released her guilt, she saw a dramatic shift in her finances. That is the power of awareness. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. To identify your money blockages, ask yourself, what phrases about money did I hear as a child? What patterns do I notice in my financial life? Cycles of loss, sudden debt, fear of spending, etc. Do I associate money with guilt, fear, or shame? Do I secretly resent wealthy people? Your answers will reveal the roots of your blockages. And once identified, you can apply spiritual healing tools to release them. Ho'oponopono is powerful in this process because it addresses not just the conscious mind, but the subconscious, where these beliefs are stored. Remember, the enemy of abundance is not poverty. It is ignorance of the blockages within you. Poverty is often the fruit, but blockage is the root. Clear the root, and the fruit will change. At the heart of clearing money blockages lies the practice of Ho'oponopono. This ancient Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness has transformed countless lives. Its simplicity is its power. The prayer consists of 4 phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. On the surface. These words may sound simple, but when applied with intention, they cleanse deep emotional wounds and release energy blockages. Here's how it works. I'm sorry acknowledges responsibility. Even if you did not consciously create your financial struggles, this phrase accepts that somewhere in your subconscious beliefs or patterns were allowed to form. It's a declaration of awareness. I see the blockage. Please forgive me is a release. It asks for forgiveness from yourself, from life, from God, or even from ancestors whose beliefs you may have inherited. Forgiveness loosens the chains of guilt and shame. Thank you shifts the vibration. Gratitude transforms your energy from lack to abundance. It says, even as I heal, I trust provision is on the way. I love you is the highest frequency of all. Love restores flow. It reconnects you to yourself, to the source of abundance, and to the energy of wealth. Science now confirms what spiritual traditions have always known: forgiveness and gratitude shift brain chemistry. Neuroscience shows that practices of gratitude increase dopamine and serotonin levels, the very chemicals that create feelings of safety and possibility. When you feel safe, your mind can recognize opportunities you once overlooked. I recall a story of a man buried in debt. He tried budgeting, side jobs, and even loans, but nothing worked. In desperation, he began practicing Ho'oponopono daily, focusing not on his debt but on the emotions tied to it. He repeated, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you," whenever fear rose up. Within months, unexpected opportunities came. An old client reached out, a debt was forgiven, and his income increased. He said the biggest change was not the money itself, but the peace he felt. That peace became the soil where new financial growth took root. The reason this prayer is effective for money blockages is that it addresses the inner environment. Too often, people try to change external circumstances without shifting the inner state. But as the proverb says, as within, so without. When your inner energy clears, your external world begins to reflect abundance. You do not need rituals, expensive tools, or complicated steps. Just the willingness to practice these 4 phrases with sincerity. You can repeat them silently when stress rises. You can write them down in a journal about money. You can whisper them as you look at your bills. Each repetition clears another layer of blockage. Ho'oponopono is not about blaming yourself for financial struggles. It is about reclaiming your power. It is saying, even if I did not create this consciously, I take responsibility to heal it now. Responsibility is freedom because it places the power to change back in your hands. So when you face fear about money, say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." When you feel guilt about the past, repeat, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." When you feel blocked in your career or business, whisper, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." These words are not magic spells. They are keys. They unlock doors in the subconscious that have been shut for years. And once those doors open, the flow of abundance begins to return. Behind every money struggle, there is often a deeper wound. It may not look financial on the surface. It could be a memory of rejection, a loss, or a painful betrayal. But it leaves a scar that shows up in your relationship with money. To clear money blockages, you must first heal the emotional wounds tied to wealth. For many people, money is not just currency. It is tied to identity and self-worth. If you grew up in a home where love was scarce, you may unconsciously link money to acceptance. If I have money, I am valuable. If I don't, I am unworthy. This emotional wound makes money a substitute for love, leading to cycles of overworking, overspending, or unhealthy dependence on wealth for validation. Research in behavioral finance shows that financial trauma is real. Just like emotional trauma, money-related wounds from childhood or adulthood can leave lasting effects. People who experienced eviction, job loss, or family bankruptcy often carry heightened anxiety about money. Even decades later, their financial decisions are driven by fear of reliving that trauma. I once counseled a man who could not hold on to money, no matter how much he earned. As we explored his past, he remembered a painful moment at age 12. He asked his mother for new shoes, and she wept because she couldn't afford them. In his young mind, he associated money with disappointment and guilt. Subconsciously, he believed that if he had money, someone else had to suffer. That wound carried into adulthood, and every time he made more, he unconsciously sabotaged it. Only when he forgave that moment, his mother, himself, and life, did he begin to break the cycle. Forgiveness is a critical part of healing. Maybe someone stole money from you. Maybe a business partner betrayed you. Maybe your family fought over inheritance and broke apart. These wounds are deeper than numbers in a bank account. They are emotional scars. And as long as you hold anger, resentment, or bitterness, money will feel heavy. Ho'oponopono shines here because it is a practice of deep emotional cleansing. When you say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you," you are not excusing the wrong. You are releasing the chain that ties you to the pain. Let me give you another example. A woman I know had gone through a divorce where finances were a battlefield. Every conversation about money reminded her of betrayal. Even after rebuilding her life, she could not speak about finances without tears. Through practicing forgiveness, saying Ho'oponopono over the memories of her ex-husband, the courtroom, and her past self, she began to heal slowly. Her energy around money shifted. She opened a small business, and for the first time in years, she felt joy in earning. Healing money wounds requires honesty. Ask yourself, who do I need to forgive regarding money? What painful memory still lingers when I think about finances? Do I use money to cover up deeper feelings of shame, rejection, or unworthiness? When you answer these questions and begin to apply forgiveness, you start to remove the emotional poison attached to wealth. You stop seeing money as an enemy or a reminder of pain. Instead, you begin to see it as a tool for healing, creation, and blessing. Remember this truth. Money cannot heal emotional wounds, but healed emotions can attract money. When your heart is whole, your relationship with wealth becomes healthy. And a healthy relationship with money invites abundance that is lasting, peaceful, and fulfilling. If your conscious mind were the captain of a ship, your subconscious would be the ocean current beneath it. No matter how hard you steer consciously, if the current below flows in the opposite direction, you will struggle to move forward. This is why so many people set financial goals, earn more, save more, invest more, but find themselves repeating the same cycles. The subconscious programming must change before the outer reality changes. Your subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds were planted there by parents, culture, experiences, will grow. If the seeds were scarcity, fear, or guilt, then no matter how much effort you apply, those weeds will choke out abundance. But the good news is, soil can be replanted. You can reprogram your subconscious with new beliefs about wealth. Neuroscience supports this. Studies in brain plasticity show that repeated thoughts and actions literally rewire neural pathways. What you repeatedly affirm, imagine, and feel becomes your new reality. This is why affirmations, visualization, and prayer are powerful tools. They impress new patterns onto the subconscious until they become automatic. One practical way to use Ho'oponopono in reprogramming is to combine it with visualization. For example, when you imagine financial abundance, old fears may rise. This is impossible. You'll fail again. Instead of resisting, you apply the prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You are clearing that old program while planting a new one. Let me share a story. A young entrepreneur wanted to build a business, but carried the belief, I am not smart enough. This belief was rooted in years of being told he was slow in school. Every time he tried to expand, his subconscious sabotaged him. He began a daily practice, standing in front of a mirror, affirming abundance, and repeating Ho'oponopono whenever self-doubt arose. Within a year, not only had his business doubled, but he also stood on a stage speaking confidently to hundreds. His subconscious script had changed. Practical steps to reprogram the subconscious include daily affirmations speak positive truths about money. I am worthy of abundance. Money flows to me with ease. Wealth is my birthright. Visualization. Imagine yourself living in financial freedom. See it, feel it, believe it. Journaling, write down old limiting beliefs and replace them with new ones. Ho'oponopono, use the 4 phrases whenever negative beliefs surface. Another powerful technique is gratitude journaling. When you consistently record blessings, your subconscious begins to notice abundance instead of lack. A Harvard study found that people who kept gratitude journals felt more optimistic, exercised more, and had fewer doctor visits. Gratitude reprograms your brain to expect good things. Remember, your outer life is a mirror of your inner programming. If you want new financial results, you must install new financial beliefs. And when you combine spiritual tools like Ho'oponopono with practical tools like affirmations, the transformation is inevitable. Gratitude is not just good manners. It is a magnetic force. When you live in gratitude, you open the gates of abundance. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, and that shift multiplies blessings. Science confirms this. Research by Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading expert on gratitude, found that people who practice gratitude consistently experience higher levels of happiness, lower stress, and even improved physical health. But gratitude also affects finances. Why? Because when you feel abundant, you naturally attract more abundance. Think of gratitude as tuning your inner radio to the frequency of wealth. If you constantly complain about bills, debt, and lack, you are broadcasting scarcity. But when you thank God for what you have, however small, you align with the frequency of abundance. I remember a man who lived paycheck to paycheck. He decided to keep a money gratitude journal. Every night, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for financially, even if it was just paying for a bus ride or having food on the table. Within months, he reported that opportunities started showing up. A side job, unexpected gifts, and even debt forgiveness. Gratitude did not magically drop money into his account, but it changed his energy so that he could see and attract opportunities he once overlooked. Gratitude also transforms fear. When worry rises about money, gratitude silences it. Instead of saying, "I don't have enough," you say, "Thank you for what I do have." That mindset shift reduces anxiety and increases creativity. 2 things essential for financial growth. A practical exercise is to practice Ho'oponopono with gratitude. As you say, "Thank you," imagine specific blessings. The roof over your head, the skills you have, the opportunities waiting ahead. This not only clears blockages, but also programs your heart for wealth. Gratitude is also contagious. People are drawn to those who radiate thankfulness, employers, clients, and partners. Trust and favor people who appreciate opportunities. A thankful heart attracts favor, and favor often brings financial increase. So, if you want to magnetize wealth, start where you are. Wake up each day and declare, "Thank you," before you sleep. Review your blessings. When a bill arrives, instead of panicking, say, "Thank you for the resources to pay this." Gratitude is not denial. It is choosing to focus on abundance even in the face of challenges. Healing your relationship with money is powerful, but healing without action leads nowhere. Once the inner blockages are cleared, you must align your behavior with your new beliefs. Abundance is not just about prayer. It is also about inspired action. There are 2 types of action: forced action and inspired action. Forced action comes from fear, striving, and desperation. Inspired action flows from clarity, peace, and alignment. When you heal your money blockages, inspired action becomes natural. You feel guided to take steps that multiply wealth. For example, a woman once practiced Ho'oponopono to heal her guilt around money. After months of inner work, she felt prompted to start teaching her craft online. She followed that nudge, and within a year, her income doubled. That was inspired action. Practical steps for inspired action include budgeting and stewardship. Respect money by managing it well. Healing your inner wounds does not excuse poor habits. Track your spending, save consistently, and invest wisely. Continuous learning, read books on finance, attend workshops, or find mentors. Healing blockages makes you open to wisdom you once resisted, acting on ideas. Many people receive creative ideas but dismiss them in fear. Inspired action means trusting those inner nudges. Generosity, give not from fear but from joy. Generosity multiplies resources because it affirms that you live in abundance, not lack. Remember, faith without works is dead. You cannot pray for abundance while ignoring opportunities, avoiding discipline, or mismanaging resources. Healing clears the path, but walking it requires action. Clearing money blockages is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle. Just as a river needs constant flow to stay fresh, you must daily maintain the flow of abundance. This means living in alignment spiritually, emotionally, and practically. Living in flow means practicing Ho'oponopono regularly. Negative thoughts and old fears may resurface, but instead of letting them harden, you clear them quickly with a prayer. It becomes like brushing your teeth, daily cleansing of the subconscious. It also means maintaining gratitude. Make thankfulness your default posture. Gratitude keeps the flow open even when challenges arise. Living in flow also requires balance. Work, rest, generosity, and self-care. All play a role. If you overwork in fear of lack, you block the flow. If you neglect generosity, you block circulation. Flow is about rhythm, earning, saving, giving, resting, and enjoying in harmony. A story illustrates this. Well, a farmer once hoarded all his harvest. Fearing famine over time, the grain rotted and his wealth decayed. Another farmer shared, planted, and circulated his harvest. His fields stayed fertile and his wealth grew. Abundance is sustained by flow, not hoarding. So each day, ask yourself, am I aligned with gratitude or fear? Am I giving as well as receiving? Am I resting as well as working? Am I applying the prayer to keep my heart clear? When you live in flow, money is no longer a master or a fear. It becomes a faithful servant, always circulating, always multiplying, always supporting your purpose. When we began this journey together, we talked about money as more than just currency. It is energy. It is flow. It is life moving in and through you. And over these keynotes, we have uncovered the truth that many of us have carried wounds, fears, and hidden blockages that have stopped that flow. But I want you to hear this clearly. Nothing in your past. No mistake, no failure, no inherited belief, no betrayal, no debt, no scarcity, no trauma. Nothing has the power to hold you back once you choose to heal, forgive, and realign. Think of your life like a house. Over the years, dust has gathered in the corners. Boxes of pain have piled up in the rooms, and doors of opportunity have been shut because of fear. But tonight, you are holding the keys to clean, to open, and to restore. The Ho'oponopono prayer is not just a set of words. It is the broom, the light, the fresh wind that sweeps through the rooms of your heart and mind, making space for wealth, peace, and abundance to enter again. So I ask you, what is stopping you from beginning now? Too often we wait for the perfect conditions, but conditions will never be perfect. Healing is a decision. Clearing blockages is a choice. Abundance is a lifestyle. And if you wait until everything feels right, you may wait forever. But when you say today, I release, I forgive, I choose gratitude, I invite abundance, you align yourself with the river of provision that has been flowing all along. I want to remind you of the power of small beginnings. Do not underestimate what a single moment of forgiveness can do. Do not underestimate what one prayer whispered in faith can unlock. Sometimes your breakthrough is not in the grand gesture, but in the quiet repetition of, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Those words, spoken sincerely, have rebuilt lives, restored peace, erased debt, healed families, and opened the door to wealth. Consider the story of the farmer. He had a field full of potential, but the soil was hardened and filled with stones. No matter how good the seed, nothing grew. One day, he chose to clear the stones. It was slow, it was painful, but with each stone removed, the soil softened, and when he finally planted, the harvest was abundant. That is what clearing money blockages looks like. The stones are your fears, your guilt, your limiting beliefs. The seed is wealth, success, and abundance, and the harvest is waiting. But the field must first be cleared. Some of you listening today are like that farmer. You have been planting seeds of effort, working hard, pushing, striving, but nothing has taken root, and you've wondered why. It is not because you lack talent, not because opportunities don't exist, not because you are cursed, but because the soil of your subconscious has been blocked. And tonight, God is inviting you to clear the stones, to soften the soil, to prepare the ground for abundance to finally grow. Let me tell you this. Abundance is your birthright. Scarcity was never your portion. You were created in the image of a limitless Creator. Look around you. Nature does not lack. The trees do not fear running out of oxygen to produce. The oceans do not fear running out of waves. The sun does not fear running out of light. Scarcity is not creation's language. Abundance is. And when you align with that truth, money becomes a servant, not a master. Wealth becomes a tool, not a burden. Success becomes a calling, not a chase. But here's the challenge. Will you live differently after hearing this? Too many people are inspired for a moment, but return to old habits, old fears, old words. Do not let this be just another message you hear and forget. Let this be the turning point where you say, I refuse to let fear control my financial destiny. I refuse to carry guilt over the past. I refuse to live in scarcity. I choose abundance. I choose flow. I choose freedom. From today onward, live in the flow of forgiveness. Each time an old memory surfaces, instead of burying it, cleanse it with a prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Each time fear whispers, answer with gratitude. Each time lack knocks at your door, respond with generosity. Each time doubt rises, remind yourself, abundance is my nature, wealth is my right, and prosperity is my portion. And let me challenge you further. Abundance is not just about you. When money begins to flow, do not dam it up. Let it circulate. Bless others. Support causes bigger than yourself, because wealth that flows only inward eventually stagnates. But wealth that flows outward multiplies. The Ho'oponopono prayer heals your relationship with yourself, but generosity heals your relationship with the world together. They keep the river of abundance fresh and overflowing. So as I bring this message to a close, I want you to imagine something. Imagine standing by a great river. For years, that river has been blocked with fallen trees, rocks, and debris. The water was stagnant. Life around it was dry. But today, you take the axe of forgiveness, the shovel of gratitude, the prayer of healing, and you begin to clear the way. One blockage removed, then another, then another. Suddenly, the river begins to flow again. Strong, fresh, unstoppable. Trees blossom, crops grow, villages thrive. That river is your life. That river is your wealth. That river is your destiny. And tonight, you have the power to clear it. Now, I invite you, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, but right now, to begin with me. Place your hand on your heart and whisper with faith, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Say it again. Say it until you feel the peace rising in your chest. Say it until tears fall and the chains break. Say it until the river inside you begins to flow again. That is the sound of your freedom. That is the beginning of your abundance. So walk from this moment renewed, empowered, and ready. Money will no longer control you. Scarcity will no longer define you. Blockages will no longer limit you. You are free. You are abundant. You are wealthy in purpose, in peace, in joy, and yes, in resources. And as you rise into this new season of wealth, remember to share this message with others. Because abundance grows as it is multiplied. Don't just keep it, pass it on. Let others step into freedom. So if this message has spoken to you, I ask you to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it. Let's build a community of healed hearts, clear minds, and abundant lives. And finally, comment one word below that declares your new season. The word is abundance, because that is who you are, that is where you are going, and that is what will flow from this day forward.